This is Scott Vanderplu, and you're listening to the Artist Edition Index Podcast, Episode 80.
I went down to the St. James Infirmary, found my baby there, stretched out on a long white table, so sweet, so cold, so fair.
Thank you for joining me once more, where I bring to the podcast a verbal version of my website, AEIndex at aeindex.org. This month we will be discussing deals, which unfortunately have passed, new releases, the poll, and 2 reviews. So let's get into it. I was wondering, just before I hit record, I thought, do I have any listener mail? And I do. So Baltimore's coming up, and I think I've talked about it previously. I attended last year, but I was not able to interview Scott Dunbier. It just didn't happen. So we've talked this year, and I'm going to try and interview him this year as well. Bob Chapman has said he's going to be there, and I have to email him again and see if there's a time I can interview him. So I would love to get I'd like to get the graffiti story while I can, and then just talk to Scott Dunbier about anything that has ever been on my mind about Artist Editions and their production. I will be creating a thread on the forum next week, and it's going to be questions for my interview with Scott Dunbier. That's what I'm going to call it. And I'm going to be soliciting people to provide any questions that they have that I can ask Scott. I will put the caveat on the forum, and I will say it here. I will not be asking him, what about insert artist name as a book? I won't be doing that. There's 1,000 different possibilities of books that people would love to see, would like to see. I don't want to harass him about what about this artist, what about this artist, what about this artist. So that's the only type of question I won't be asking him. Otherwise, pretty open as well. I will be checking those answers, and if I already know the answer, then I will answer it on the forum as well. That way people can get the answer right away if it's been previously known. I have read every interview Scott Dunbier has done about Artist Editions, and I've interviewed him several times. So we'll see what comes out of this. I'm pretty excited. And Bob Chapman, I had a nice long phone conversation with him last year, but I wasn't able to record it, which is terribly annoying. I had some issues. And we really actually mostly talked about the origins of graffiti designs and didn't get into the gallery edition portion of it. So I'd like to get into the history of that. Okay, let's talk a poll this month. Let's get right to the poll. This month's poll, and I'm so happy that we have another reader of the site and a fan of the site, Alex Sheikman, who has been, I put out there on the forum, anybody have any questions or that they would like to see the poll? And he provided a nice list, so I'll be working off that for the next few months. So it's wonderful. So this is the one that caught my eye right away was this poll. With the DC license regained at IDW, what if they unearth a stash of new Dark Knight Returns pages and decide to reissue the book as an IDW Artist Edition? If you already own the Gallery Edition, which is missing 56 pages, how many new pages would tempt you to double dip and purchase the new AE Edition? How many missing pages is enough to buy a new edition? Leading the votes, all missing pages, so all 56. Then people would buy it. That's 30 votes for that. Tied with 16 votes are 10 to 15 pages. That's the lowest threshold I put. And actually, that's where I voted for. And then never. Tied at 16. 20 to 30 pages is 12 votes. 30 to 40 pages, 9 votes. So that's the poll this month. So apparently, basically any new pages and never come in second, and then all the missing pages is number 1. I think that's unrealistic. I think an amount of missing pages is probably more realistic, and I don't even know how long they would do that before that, because Graffiti Designs still has stock of this book, and it's still being sold through Diamond Distributing. So that's the poll this month. As always, I leave them open, so you can come back and vote if you want to ever look at older polls, and I go through them and cast your vote. Always interesting information. Okay. 2 deal alerts this month from readers. David Jacoy let me know about The last deal alert, which was Forbidden Planet. No, I'm sorry. Was that David Chacoi? Yes, it was. Forbidden Planet had the Judge Dredd by Mick McMahon Apex Edition on sale for £50, and the shipping wasn't too bad. So that was a good savings. I think that's sold out already. So hey, what are you going to do? The other deal alert was for Canada Day, Independence Day. So 4th of July in the United States, Canada Day, July 1st. And the deals were some deals from IDW. They had 20% off all titles. And then Wayne Allen Herald had 2 fine art editions, Salome and Other Stories, and the Starfish Giant and Other Stories. And they were both with $75 off. I mean, Anyway, some amazing deals. I'm actually going to click on that link now and see if Wayne Allen Herald is still offering those deals. No, the deals be over. And we can certainly understand that. And it's also apparently Lurid Media, which I have not. I'm a bit slow to get on this. I believe Wayne Allen Herald Productions, the website doesn't work anymore, and now it's Lurid Media. Maybe I should email him and try and get some info from Wayne. All right. So that was big news. Solicitations for this month. Actually, let's talk that. 2 solicitations. One we'd seen before. Actually, we've seen both before, but they both have now appeared in the Diamond catalog. So that's why I've got them listed under Diamond August 2023 solicitations. First one is the 2080 art of Mick McMahon, Apex Edition. As I said, I previously posted this up from 2000 AD because I am on their mailing list. Let me give you the blurb. The 2080 art of Mick McMahon, Apex Edition, is a gloriously oversized collection of some of McMahon's best pages from 2000 AD. His legendary work on Slain is showcased with art from Warrior's Dawn, Hero's Blood, and the incredible Sky Chariots. Also represented here are his Robusters and ABC Warriors eras, the climactic pages from Judge Dredd, The Return of Rico, the entirety of Super Bean, and the complete opening episode of the VCs, along with his VC character designs, which were used by Ken Kennedy and Gary Leach for artistic continuity. That's a very long sentence. The concluding section of this book exhibits color pages from his Judge Dredd annual series, including the complete The Fear That Made Milwaukee Famous, and select pages from throughout The Last American. Excuse me, I believe I mentioned this before, but I don't quite understand why The Last American pages, which was printed by Epic, is appearing in this book, but I'm happy to get them. I love The Last American, and I would love to see an Artist Edition, Apex Edition, any edition of original art from The Last American, but this may be as good as it gets. This book is... Oh, man, I got the page size wrong. That's disappointing. I'm going to have to look that up. 144 pages, 135 USD. So we're seeing like a wave of prices from 2000 AD. I think we saw 105, 155. Now we're seeing 135, and up and down. Interesting. Second book that we've already heard about before is John Byrne's X-Men Artist Edition. That is the blurb here. An artist edition featuring the groundbreaking and best-selling X-Men series from the late 1970s by the stellar team of Chris Claremont, John Byrne, and Terry Austin. This is an art book, not a traditional collection of comic books, featuring rare and beautiful imagery, a collection for connoisseurs of the form. With stories like the Dark Phoenix Saga and Days of Future Past, John Byrne's work on X-Men became one of the most influential and popular comics of the 1970s. Included in the stellar artist edition are pages from John Byrne's classic run and an amazing number of covers. Being released November 7th, 12 by 17, 160 pages, 150 US. This is a direct reprint of the John Byrne's X-Men Artifact Edition. There is nothing new included here. Not even a new cover. It is strictly the text Artifact Edition is replaced with Artist Edition. Otherwise, same book. So if you missed out the first time, great opportunity for you. If you didn't miss out, skip it. I did forget to mention that the 2080 art of Mick McMahon is now scheduled for January 3rd, 2024 release. And like I said, I've got that sizing wrong. I've put 8.2 by 12, which is clearly not right. Let me look on the AE format proper to get a size for this thing. 14.3 by 18.7 inches. That's the size of this book. It's quite a book. Yeah, so the very first Judge Dredd by Brian Boland was 90 US. Judge Dredd by Mick McMahon, $105.99 US. So there we go. We stopped rounding. 2080 Art of Kevin O'Neill, which now is delayed, $155 US. And then we got 2080 Art of Mick McMahon, $135. And then way back in 2015, the very first Apex edition was $125. So I don't know exactly what's going on with this price, how they're determining it. It's a bit mysterious, I gotta say. All right. Those are the solicitations for this month. I'm recording this on August 1st. I've already posted one solicitations group, and there's more coming. But let's talk shipping changes then while we're here. 2080 Art of Kevin O'Neill Apex Edition was supposed to ship next week, August 9th. And I checked Diamond, and it's not in stock there yet, so that means there's no possible way it's shipping next week. What is shipping next week, though, is Michael Golden's Marvel Stories Artist Edition. My copy's in the mail, but I have no tracking, and I have not heard anything about it. I'm really hoping it will arrive before the before the release date. The last IDW one I got was 3 weeks late, so I'm hoping that doesn't happen. What else has changed? Walter Simonson's Fantastic Four Artist Edition is now September 26th. Bill Sienkiewicz's Mutants and Moon Knights and Assassins Artisan Edition is now October 3rd. The new Diamond previews came out, and that's where those solicitations came from. Oddly, Bill Ward, the Fantagraphics Studio Edition, was not in that catalog. It's got a release date of October 17th, which means Fantagraphics is waiting till the September catalog, which is books shipping in November, to solicit a October book. Something weird is going on with the Bill Ward book. I'm going to say we're not getting it for October 17th since it has not been solicited through Diamond, and Diamond is Fantagraphics book distributor. So that's a problem. Other changes. John Romita's Amazing Spider-Man, the Daily Strips Artist Edition is now November 14th. And we got some other things I've added to the list, but those are actually August things. I don't want to talk about those now. I'll talk about those next podcast, or just pop on the site and have a look. All right. As I said, no listener mail this month, really. I had some people asking about some books. Nobody bought anything, though, so that's a bit disappointing. I do have... so there was talk on the forum about Lo Scarabeo, which is an Italian publishing company. If you've been a fan of the site for a while, they did that Morbus Gravis book, which was gorgeous and then sold out immediately. That apparently is available on the Lo Scarabeo website. But I saw 4 books I wanted. They've got these 2 Diabolique original art books, but they're small. They're 6x9. Apparently that's how the art was produced. And then there's 2 Hugo Pratt books. One is full of original art, and the other one is more it talks about the origin of Corto Maltese. It's in 3 languages, lots of original art. Lo Scarabeo had free shipping if you spent €200 or more. So I went for all 4 books. I'm going to see how that ships. They're shipping FedEx. They've already shipped. So free shipping's good. I think I'm going to get hit with taxes and handling because it's FedEx. But hey, keep my fingers crossed. Maybe that won't happen. We'll see. What else have I got coming? No, that's it for... I got that coming in the mail and the IDW book. So patiently waiting. And then we've got the new 2080 book, which is delayed. So a bit disappointing. All right, let's talk out of print. I need to up my game on this out of print because there's so many things out of print. I checked Artisan Edition prices recently. It came up, I forget where. And there's some crazy Artisan Edition prices. I didn't realize they're really fluctuating now as well. So I may start adding that. All right, I had to have a drink to wet my whistle because we've got so many books to discuss here on this list, and I tend to talk rapidly, and I don't know, do people have to slow down the podcast to be able to hear me? Good question. All right, let's talk. Alien, the Illustrated Story, the original art edition, 3 copies sold for an average of $142.16. 1 copy of Batman The Dark Knight Returns sold for $120. That number's way down. We've seen 4, 5, 6 copies recently. Bernie Wright's an Artifact Edition second print, 6 copies sold an average of $161.07. I can't even remember the last time I saw a first print sell. Where are all the first prints? Where are all these second prints coming from? It's all California sellers. Best of EC Comics Volume 1, $399.99. I'll just let everybody know that I have one of those on the store, and it's much less than that. All right, Bill Sienkiewicz's Mutants and Moon Knights and Assassins Artifact Edition, $349.99. Dave Cockrum's X-Men Artifact Edition, $134.99. Those are one of each on those books. 2 copies of Dave Gibbons' Watchmen Artifact Edition, $174.99 average. That's a bump. 2 copies of David Mazzucchelli's Daredevil Born Again Artist Edition, averaging $437.48. Ouch! Mine is also on the store and cheaper than that. 1 copy of Don Rose's The Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck, $99.99. A lot of zeros now. And then 5 copies of Gil Kane's Amazing Spider-Man Artist Edition, averaging $122.79. 2 copies of Jack Davis's EC Stories for averaging $168.75. That seems a bit down. 2 copies of Jack Kirby Commanding the Last Boy on Earth, averaging $210.19. I don't get that. Where did that interest come from? Jack Kirby's Fantastic Four, 1 copy, $103. That is very low. 2 copies of Jack Kirby's Marvel Heroes and Monsters, $260.50 average. Wow. 4 copies of Jim Lee DC Legends Artifact Edition, averaging $129.99. 1 copy of Jim Starlin's Marvel Cosmic for $149.99. 2 copies of Joe Kubert's Tarzan of the Apes for $108. 2 copies of John Byrne's Fantastic Four for $307.79. Again, that is what is going on. And again, I have one of those in the store. I don't know. Please, people, stop paying these ridiculous prices on eBay and pay a high price on my store instead. 2 copies of John Byrne's Marvel Classics Artifact Edition for $99.97 average. 2 copies of John Romita's The Amazing Spider-Man Artist Edition, $287 average. That's a real bump up for that book. It wallowed at around $100 forever. 2 copies of Volume 2, $187.50 average. 1 copy of Judge Dredd by Brian Boland, $400. I finally added this to the list. I don't know what took me so long. That is crazy. I bought mine, and then I bought a second copy immediately when that came out, and I put it on the store at $250. And I thought, I don't want this to sit at the store for a while. This is a good book, and it sold immediately. $400. Yowzers. 1 copy of Lone Wolf and Cub Gallery Edition, $104. So this book continues to be in stock at Penguin Random House. Still showing first printing information. So some sort of stash at the Dark Horse Warehouse got shipped to Penguin Random House, and they're still available. Remember, this was a very expensive book when it was sold out. Copies are available. Don't sit on that. If you have any interest in Lone Wolf and Cub, please order the book, cover price, get yourself a copy. 1 copy of Mark Schultz's Xenozoic Tales Artist Edition, sold for $300. 1 copy of Mike Mignola's Hellboy and Hell and Other Stories, first print, $300. 1 copy of Ross Andrews' Amazing Spider-Man, $134.99. 1 copy of Sergio Aragona's Gru the Wanderer for $293.88. That book's got a bump recently as well. 3 copies of Spawn Vault Edition for $311.67 average. 3 copies of Spawn Vault Edition 2, averaging $274.47. 1 copy of Steranko Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. first print, $179.99. 1 copy of the Book of Ballads, $79.31. 1 copy of The Prisoner, $122.50. That is a big drop for that book. I think that's an anomaly. 1 copy of Usagi Jim with Samurai and Other Stories, $227.50. It's actually a good price for that book too. 1 copy of Wally Wood's EC Stories first print, $300. Not a bad price. 1 copy of Walter Simonson's Star Wars Artist Edition, $117.99. 1 copy of Walter Simonson's The Mighty Thor Artist Edition, second print, $89.99. Good price. 3 copies of Will Eisner's The Spirit Artist Edition, averaging $266.67. That's a book on the rise. Those Eisner Spirits, gorgeous, 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 need to be part of people's collections. If you picked up the Artisan Edition and are astounded by what's in that, start hunting down the full-size Artist Editions, please. Do yourself that favor. Interestingly, no records set this month. The record list just keeps going. And nothing set this month, though. All right, 2 reviews this month. Before I do that, might as well get into my help me out speech. As I mentioned, a lot of things in the store. Like a lot of things in the store. Books that I have not seen for a long time, I've just been able to pick up here and there. I was very impressed. Best of EC Artist Edition, Volume 1, I got at $275. David Mazzucchelli's Daredevil Born Again, I got it for $350. I got Eric Powell's The Goon for $100. I got Joe Kubert's The Return of Tarzan for $150. This book is hard to find. It does not come up on eBay. It doesn't come up hardly anywhere. John Byrne's Fantastic Four, I got for $225. Ross Andrews Spider-Man I got for $125. I got a Simonson Mighty Thor first print for $125. Anyways, great deals. I've also dropped the 4% handling. I figure I'll cover it. Let's try and move some books. Speaking of that, and I meant to continue my Lo Scarabeo story. I'm going to do some reviews, and in the review, I'm going to say, if you're interested in getting a copy of this book, let me know, because I may do a bulk order from I'm going to see how this FedEx order goes, but I may do a bulk order from Lo Scarabeo and get multiple. I'll order 5 of each book in, and then I will sell them on the site. And normally, what I try and do is, I'll order 5 or 6 copies in, and then I take the cost across all of them, and then I raise the price on 5 of them or 4 of them to cover the cost of the 5th book. So my copy's covered, and then I just raise the price just above the cost to cover the book. So it's not. That's been my general plan from European books like that L'Esprit de Will Eisner, and a couple of the gallery book from Italy of the John Buscema. Okay. You can also support me through Patreon. I love that. It says it starts. I don't know. This is new. I don't know if it's in Canada now. It says it starts at $2. You can put whatever you want down. You can put $1. You can put €1. You can put whatever amount you want. I'm gladly appreciate that. And then, of course, all the links on the site. Most links on the site. Let me rephrase that. Are affiliate dollars. I greatly appreciate if anybody in the United States orders any books from my Things from Another World link. That is my best affiliate link. The Amazon ones do add up. I've been I let the Amazon France one build up and get some stuff from there. All right, that's it. And by the way, what do I say it every month, but I'll say it here again. I take that money that I earn from that, and I just roll it in more books. That's all I'm doing. I'm paying for hosting for the site. I'm rolling more books. That's it. All right. I appreciate you sitting through my blurb there. All right. 2 reviews this month. A little bit different. Definitely different. Destroyer Duck Graphite Edition. Let me give you the blurb. In the 1980s, writer Steve Gerber was embroiled in a lawsuit against Marvel Comics over ownership of his creation, Howard the Duck. To raise funds for legal fees, Gerber asked Jack Kirby to contribute to a benefit comic titled Destroyer Duck. Without hesitation, Kirby, who was in his own dispute with Marvel at the time, donated his services for the first issue, and the duo took aim at the former employer in an outrageous 5-issue run. Yes, all the emphasis is mine. With biting satire and guns blazing, Duke Destroyer Duck battled the thinly veiled GodCorp, whose infamous credo was grab it all, own it all, drain it all, its evil leader Ned Packer, and the literally spineless Booster Cogburn, Medea, a parody of Daredevil's Elektra, and more. Now all 5 Gerber Kirby issues are collected, but relettered and reproduced from Jack's unbridled, uninked pencil art! ! Also included are several select examples of Alfredo Alcala's unique inking style over Kirby on the original issues. Gerber's script pages, an historical introduction by Mark Evanier, co-editor of the original 1980s issues, and an afterword by Buzz Dixon, who continued the series after Gerber. Discover all the hidden jabs you missed when Destroyer Duck was first published, and experience page after page of Kirby's raw pencil art. This is 8.5 by 11 book. It's kind of small when you hold it in your hand. Please don't make me comment on that statement. 144 pages, hardcover, $31.95 USD. This is my first Tomorrow's publishing book I'm reviewing. They do have some other, and I think I mentioned that I'm also going to get Soul Love. Was it Soul Love? No, Dingbat Love. I've actually got that already. That's a little bit bigger. And I like Tomorrow's, and this is Kirby pencils. So I think Kirby at the time was photocopying his pencils in 8.5 by 11 paper, which is, if you remember the Kirby pencils and inks from IDW, an early artisan edition, that was the same sort of stuff. But Tomorrow's, they're it's not just original art here. They like to do the historical, right? They give the info. And there's a great foreword by John Morrow, gives some information about the book, about this book in particular, and then about his lettering. And then we get the script, and we get a letter from Steve Gerber to Dean Mulaney. And then we get right into the pencils. Really great stuff. Apparently, so we got Neil Adams inks. We got the Kirby's pencils. And you can tell they're photocopies. But it presents well at 8.5 by 11. It's a nice book. I mean, if you're a Kirby fan, I sort of balked at the price, but then really, come on. I mean, it's 144 pages for $32. Yes, 8.5 by 11, but it's a hardcover, and you get a lot of material. And I got to say, the new lettering looks great. It really works well. And then we get all these gorgeous Kirby pencils, which, I mean, this is late Kirby, right? I mean, the forms aren't quite as good. Positioning isn't as great as it was before. When you read this, when you go through this, Kirby had trouble with the duck bill and the sort of the duck image in general. And then, we get into... Then we got some Alcala inks, which are nice. Those pages are very, the inking is very sharp. Looks good. That's what finishes the book. And then we got an after by Buzz Dixon. And it's just an all-around really nice book. And like I said, if you're into Kirby pencils and you want a little bit of history, and you know what else? Well, I also liked it with this. They say, like, you want to know more about Steve Gerber's lawsuit? They include a link to a website, not Tomorrow's, that it goes in depth on the lawsuit. So, you know, they're very willing to link out other resources, which I think is wonderful. And just a very interesting book. Now, unfortunately, this sold out a dime and quick. You can still get it from Tomorrow's, or you can get it from eBay. It's available digitally as well from Tomorrow's. That may be worth a look if you, depending on where you are and you don't want to pay shipping. Digital copy would work well. Second review this month, again, very new to the A Index. The Fantastic Worlds of Frank Frazetta. This is a Taschen book, which I think I mentioned before, my love for Taschen art books. The XXL size, right? The big 200s. Actually, the XL size are wonderful as well. But I do like the XXL if possible. I mean, I am 6'8", and maybe that has something to do with my love of large books because they just don't seem as large to me. But let me give you the blurb for this book. Frank Frazetta has reigned as an undisputed lord of fantasy art for 50 years. His fame only growing in the 12 years since his death. With his paintings now breaking auction records, Egyptian Queen sold for $5.4 million in 2019. He's long overdue for his ultimate monograph. Born to a Sicilian immigrant family in Brooklyn, 1928, Frazetta was a minor league athlete, petty criminal, and serial seducer with movie star looks and phenomenal talent. He claimed to only make art when there was nothing better to do. He preferred playing baseball. It began his professional career in comics at age 16. Strip work led him to the infamous EC Comics, then to oils for Tarzan and Conan pulp covers. Both characters were interpreted by many before him, but as he explained in the 1970s, I'm very physical-minded. In Brooklyn, I knew Conan. I knew guys just like him, and he used this first-hand knowledge of muscle and macho to redefine fantasy heroes as more massive, more menacing, more testosterone-fueled than anything seen before. As counterbalance, he created a new breed of women, nude as censorship allowed, with pixie faces and multiparous bodies, thick-thighed, heavy buttocked breasts cantilevered out to there, yet still, with their soft bellies and hints of cellulite, believably real. Add in the action, the creatures, the twilight worlds of haunting shadow, and Frazetta's art is addictive as potato chips. This monograph is the most complete ever produced on the artist, done in collaboration with the Frazetta family and winner of a 2013 Eisner Award. This was released by Taschen in November 2022. It's 29 centimeters by 39.5 centimeters, which is 12.68 by 27.5 inches. It's 468 pages. Hardcover with dust jacket, $200 USD. I ordered this book in August of 22, and then it never arrived. And the reason I'm reviewing it now is because it arrived last month, just out of the blue. Beginning of July, this book shows up my door. I'm like, what happened? I didn't even remember I had the order. And of course, then it's not a famous first edition because they Taschen with the first 5,000, you get a numbered book plate. Well, this didn't have that. But I mean, I also paid 180 Canadian for it, so this is $275 Canadian cover. I mean, I got basically a third off, so I can't complain too much. But I am only reviewing the first chapter of this book. That's called Hold and Release. And I'm sorry, that's the introduction. It's called Anthropomorphic Animals and Little Abner, 1944 to 1959. Because I only wanted to deal with the comic art of Frank Frazetta. This book has so much more, and there's still lots of pencils and inks, lots of paintings in this book, hundreds of pages after I stopped my review. But again, I wanted the comic art. I love Frazetta's comic art, and this is the largest collection of comic art in one piece that I've seen. And it's treated the variety of ways. Lots of full-size pages, which are great. I mean, if you've got the comic page, why not present it in full size? But then some pages are smaller. Some art is smaller, even though they could be full size. And then over and over again, they do blow-ups. So they take a panel out of a little Abner, and it's a 2-page spread. And when I look at the 2-page spread, I think, I'm not gleaming insight into Frazetta's technique here by you blowing up one panel to a double-page spread. I don't get it. And then, like I said, then we have other panels, other pages where they could have done full page and they didn't. There's this gorgeous tryout of he did a newspaper strip tryout, and basically they stacked the 2 dailies on a double-page spread, but I would have liked each one of these to be a double-page spread. I mean, these are full of detail. Gorgeous. And we got the Ghost Rider covers in there. We got White Indian pages in here. Johnny Comet and the Ace McCoy, which is what they renamed Johnny Comet. I don't know if he changed papers. I can't quite remember. These are so nice. Just gorgeous. And then Frazetta's romance pages. And then, of course, the Famous Funnies pages. Is it Famous Funnies? I always mess this up. Hold on, I'm going up to have a look what I wrote. There's just, I think Frazetta did 7 covers, and all 7 original art is in here. I mean, it's just, oh my goodness, they're so gorgeous. The book is presented in 3 languages: English, French, and German. Each chapter introduction appears in all 3 languages. Everything in text appears in all 3 languages. But they change the artwork up for each one, so you're never seeing art duplicated. You're seeing new artwork. So you read the English one, and then you flip through the other language ones, and then you get a chance to see what's there. Really, really, really nice work. Yeah, it's the Famous Funnies covers. They're just so gorgeous. Everything about this book just screams. I mean, Taschen screams quality. They're so well done and so well presented. But I've read, I had a chance to read some of the reviews online, and some people are like, the artwork appears bigger here, or they maybe did a better job there. But this is a complete. This is a monograph. Yes, I would have loved to see more comic art. Yes, I would have loved to not have all these double-page spreads and panel enlargements, and just had actually larger art. But this is as good as it gets, I got to say. And as far as the comic art, I mean, if you maybe in a catalog you can get it, but this is a wonderful collection. I would sure love to get on Taschen press list and get a freebie, but I don't think that's ever going to happen, which that's okay. All right, that's it for this month. Thanks for joining me again, and I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get to the podcast this month. We're at 80. I think every episode that I say, I'm astounded that I'm able to get through these. What is 80? Let's see, 80 divided by 12. So this is, I'm closing out on my 7th year of this podcast. Oh my goodness, that is I had no idea. Once a month isn't too bad. 30 minutes, not too bad. Keep it moving. I think I'm getting better. I mean, it has been 6 years. I hope I'm getting better. Please, if you've liked anything you've heard, go to the website, have a look at my reviews, have a look at the pictures. I'm behind on the videos. I'm behind on the flip through videos. It's not something I ever really enjoyed. I've been thinking about should I be doing 15-minute video reviews where I discuss it as I flip through. Try and cap it at 15 minutes. Do I cap it at 30 minutes? Do I have that much to talk about? I mean, I'm going to be pointing out what I like about this, what I like about that, what is this. So maybe 15 minutes. I'm going to try it. Don't hold me to it for this month, but we'll see how it goes. All right, please go to aindex.org. Enjoy the articles there. Click on a link. Buy a book through the site. Please, if you see something in the store, please take advantage of it. And above all, thanks for enjoying what I continue to love.
Let her go, God bless her. Wherever she may be, she can search this wide world over. She'll never find a sweet man like me.